I wanted to create an opportunity where people could come and share their stories. And when we open up our hearts, we allow others to help carry our loads as we, in return, help carry theirs. And the more we share our stories, the braver and the stronger we become. Hi, I'm Alicia Bonner, and welcome to Epic Interviews. Today, I am honored. I'm really honored to have a woman whose life tells a story of grace. In her younger days, she was this social butterfly, and today she is on dialysis, and she faces it with so much poise and dignity. She continues to inspire through her strength and through her spirit. This conversation is not just about her today, not just about her quiet, calm confidence, but also about the legacy that she left at Marcus Garvey, where she taught for 43 years. Help me welcome Brenda Spencer Hernandez. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. About a few months ago, I went to your book signing. Mm-hmm. She has a book. It's called Diva on Dialysis, and we're going to talk about that a little more. But I was very moved when I went to your book signing. Now, I know you personally. You were a friend of my mom for a long time, a very long time. But just to see how you poured into the community and how other people appreciated you, it was almost overwhelming. There were students there that you taught. There were parents. There were fellow teachers. There were people in the community. And I don't know, you guys, if you've ever driven down Slauson, for all of you California natives, LA natives, there is a school. It is green. You cannot miss it. It is called Marcus Garvey, where some jewels are in that building, and this is one of them today. So I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank
you for that warm introduction.
You're welcome.
Okay, I want to thank you, and I want to thank your mom too, because your mom was an inspiration and motivation for me to write the book.
Oh, wow. Oh, you know what? Okay, there is an excerpt that was dedicated to her, so I'll go ahead and read that.
Okay.
Read that right now. So in this part of the book, you talk about some friends who had a great influence on your life. It says, another friend or former coworker, she texts me daily to check on my health. We worked together for so many years. She taught with passion, and on weekends we went to the clubs, but I was the only one smoking and drinking while she stayed sober, focused on finding a good husband. Work and church were her salvation. She holds several degrees from Antelope Valley College and Rusk College, and she is extremely successful in the insurance industry. As an executive CEO of her own business, she also affiliates with other prominent companies and has received accolades as a top district manager. Right now, she helps care for her 95-year-old grandmother, or 95-year-old mother, my grandmother, and she loves traveling, hiking, and yoga. To my genuine friend, I celebrate you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I also want to go ahead and read an excerpt from your book. It's on the back, and it's kind of the reason why you wrote the book, right?
Right.
In the blink of an eye, my world changed. I was told by a medical professional that I had only 6 months to live. Should I write my own will? Should I make my own funeral arrangements? Should I share this information with family and friends? Or should I seek a second opinion? So many questions. Only by the grace of God am I here today to share events that are relatable and empower the reader by learning from my mistakes. Whether you are a single parent of 2 or a dedicated servant of the community for over 40 years like me, this book is my living document. It highlights my trials, my triumphs, and serves as a testament to defy the odds and summons the courage needed to continue on. This is my journey, Walk with me. Here is my story.
Yes.
That's powerful.
Yes, it is.
That's really, really powerful.
And I went through a lot, a whole lot. I mean, it was just overwhelming. I've had 12 surgeries.
Wow.
And I have to go for another checkup in 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, I love your spirit. I love that you decided that you wanted others to learn from your mistakes. So what can you tell me that you would have done differently in regards to diet, in regards to exercise? What advice can you give regarding that?
Okay, I wish I had ate healthier. You know, eating really affects your whole body. And I was a vegetarian for 20 years. Thought I was doing the right thing. You know, eating a hamburger, veggie hamburger, drinking a soda with it. But I didn't get all my nutrients. And now I have to eat meat for protein.
I think that's a very valuable point. So a lot of people turn to being a vegetarian as a healthy option, which it can be, but it needs to be supplemented with the right nutrients, right? You can't just be a vegetarian and say, I don't eat meat, and you're still eating things that raise your blood sugar, you know, or just not getting the proper nutrients that you need. So I think it's very important that you brought up that point. You thought you were eating healthy.
Right. And everybody's body is different.
Yes. Everybody is different.
It's not the same.
I really believe that. I actually believe that every blood type metabolizes food differently, but that's another topic. But yeah, you have to go and you figure out what works best for your body, right?
Correct.
And how food affects your body.
Right.
I might eat bread and it bloats me, and it may not affect you at all. So we have to find out what foods work well with our bodies. Some foods we may need to stay away from altogether. You know, we may have an allergic reaction to them. So finding out what foods work best for you and what type of diet works well for you is
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very, very important.
And liquor plays a major part.
Oh, yes.
And see, I was drinking at 3. 3 years old.
Wow.
My grandmother would bring these little chocolates, and it had liquor in it. And I would get up at night, sneaking and eating it.
Wow.
So that has an impact on my body.
Right. So the liquor raises your blood sugar level as well.
Does.
Right? Okay.
And then it affects your kidneys.
And your liver.
Your liver, kidneys, your whole cells in your whole body.
Yes.
It's affected.
Wow.
And smoking, can't leave out smoking.
Cannot.
I was smoking at 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
And all that, you know, it's not good for your body at all.
Now, I never saw you smoke when I was younger.
8 years
You
old.
did? Wow.
But see, you weren't with me at the clubs.
Right.
I was. Now I wasn't only just smoking cigarettes, it was marijuana. That played an impact.
Right.
So.
And speaking of marijuana, I think it's very important that we do our research on that as well. A lot of people use it for medicinal purposes, but more research is showing that it can have a reverse effect on you as well. So
Yes,
we
it
really
can.
have to research and,
Right.
and take our health seriously, including everything that we inhale or everything that we put into our bodies.
That's right.
So what do you wish more people understood about diabetes and kidney disease?
Okay, diabetes you can inherit. It could be from your family. Eating wrong is a major factor. And not paying attention to your body. Too much sugar, too much salt. It's not good for your body.
Okay.
So all that has an influence on your body.
Right. So you
Eat,
can
drink.
inherit it, or it could be a lifestyle.
Right.
Okay. So you've spoken about exercise. You've spoken about healthy eating and diet, and not to abuse alcohol. So what other warnings or what other advice can you give this younger generation who pretty much thinks they are invincible?
Well, they're not invincible, that's for sure. Everything they do has an impact on their body. What they need to do is get regular checkups, go to the doctor, get blood work done. Then you can find out what's right and what's wrong for your body. Plenty of rest is important. Taking vitamins, going outside, getting vitamin D.
Okay. I love that. Regular checkups, such a necessity. You want to add something?
Yes,
Come
yes.
on.
I'd
Come
like
on
to
in,
add-
Tracy.
I'd like to
Thank
say, though, that, I think a lot of things are culturally influenced.
Okay, and before you start,
Yes.
you guys, Tracy is a former student of Marcus Garvey, and her son attended Marcus Garvey as well. So thank you for being here, Tracy.
Thank you.
She's
Thank you.
my guardian angel.
Guardian angel.
Every day she sends me messages. She gives me motivation. I mean, she's just really spiritually there for me. The little emojis, I get those every day from her.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prayer
for the-
scriptures, I get those also.
Yeah. Thank you for the invitation. Miss Spencer's been so influential in my life. I started Marcus Garvey at 5th grade, and she was there. She was never my teacher because she was taught the younger, kindergarten usually, but she was always there. You know what I mean?
Her presence.
She was her presence. She was always present. Always a nurturing force then and now. Always supportive of families. She didn't just teach your child, but she made you feel like, they were part of her family as opposed to just a student. But I was just going to say on health and diabetes and all of those things, that I think, culturally is like in our community, the African American community, that we're not taught in the households necessarily, the right foods to eat and combinations. I think it's incumbent on us to try to teach our children at a younger age the proper ways to eat,
Extremely
make sure they're
true.
having a fully balanced meal.
Yes.
The importance of exercise. I wish I was told when I was a child to exercise and keep exercising. We
Yes.
learned how to ride a bike. We were outside kids. We skated, we rode bikes, and to keep that tradition for our kids and all of those things. But I think the schools are missing a lot of mark. They teach you about this food group and that food group and all of that kind of stuff. But even going forward and all along the way, I think they have to impress upon us the proper foods and stuff that we should eat, because even the lunches and stuff served aren't necessarily healthy
Right.
at some schools and all that. So even if you're going to teach us this, then you got to lead by example and feed us this, the proper foods and things to drink.
Right.
So, but then we grow up not knowing that, so we don't do better when we don't know better. So we got to educate ourselves,
So true.
and hopefully instill that in the kids younger.
Right. So taking responsibility for our own health.
Right.
And teaching our kids.
Right.
And then, as we mentioned earlier, finding out what works individually for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So as a community, I believe that it takes a village to raise a child.
It does.
And so
Yes,
it's
it does.
incumbent on the whole village to do that.
Yeah.
The family, the schools, the church, everywhere we go. We have to instill those
Thank
values.
you. Okay, I have another question for you. You were at Marcus Garvey for 43 years. What kept you committed to that particular school and those kids?
I had a passion for teaching. I was innovative. I loved teaching children, motivating them to become doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists, what else? Anything, everything. And I wanted them to be productive. Productive and go out in society and work. Be instrumental.
Okay, and since you mentioned that, what kinds of activities did the kids start learning? At that school, to become good community leaders.
Well, one of the things she did not say is she was the first teacher the school ever had. So when the school doors opened for the first time, she was there. She was that teacher, and for 43 years, until her health prevented her from staying. But they instill in those kids who they are. So many times you send them to other schools and there's no sense of self. There's no sense of, the history of your people, because they don't really teach us about African American people in school other than Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, which we greatly respect, but we're much bigger than that. And our history started before slavery. Our history started before the Civil Rights Movement. So you learn that at Marcus Garvey School. They instilled, they used to do presentations. I mean, in our kindergarten class, they had at least 3 or 4 presentations they had to do. Stand at the board with a poster board or whatever. And I remember my son did one on dental health or whatever. So she made sure that leadership, how to lead, how to speak in front of a crowd, they help build up the confidence of our children. They help nurture the kids.
Yes. So I can attest to this.
Yes.
Perseverance.
Yes.
That was essential.
I attended kindergarten.
Yeah.
There. I remember presenting things in front of the class.
Yes.
I remember being taught to look someone in their eyes when you're speaking to them.
Right.
I remember learning to call someone by their name,
right.
Showing respect.
Right.
You learn so many valuable lessons at such an early age.
You do.
And I think that's so important
Right.
because you carry it with you
Right.
throughout the rest of your life. Public speaking.
Right. Public
We
speaking.
all had to do it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
didn't have a
yeah.
choice.
And also the founder even, the young men, they were required to open the doors for the young ladies.
Yes.
I mean, just those simple things. I mean, so much so, and they had a principal at one time, Sister Barnes, who passed away. But she used to make sure the boys had their shirts tucked in, the kids looked nice and neat. So, you look good, you feel good, you know what I mean? That improves your self-confidence and self-worth. But, my son is 18 years old now. He's 18 years old, and he's a sophomore in college. He got skipped at Marcus Garvey. I skipped a grade too, but he got skipped at Marcus Garvey. But even when we are out on casual events, I have to tell him, unbutton a couple of buttons up there. You don't have to tuck in your shirt here. So they've instilled things so much in him that he still follows those things. I mean, good things,
Mm-hmm.
that he was taught at Marcus Garvey School. To respect women. To respect it and be there and support your fellow. He's still friends with his preschool friends from Marcus Garvey because we understand that the families share the same values,
right?
And as a parent, you send your kids to a school that reinforces the values that you teach at home, because you're the first teacher as a parent.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you have them in a surroundings like a Marcus Garvey school that can carry that forward for them,
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. So what skills and values do you believe are most critical for the students that leave this school? And you mentioned a few of them. Are there any additional ones that they can take with them and exercise those in their adulthood?
Right. So as a student at Marcus Garvey, I feel like our students, or the students of Marcus Garvey, develop a sense of self. They develop that they can be anything that they want to be, and that they need to be the best version of themselves, not only for themselves, but for their families and for their communities. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important. Not only that, I think they teach them to become leaders. Mm-hmm. Like when we have events at the school and guests are coming, we let them be ambassadors for the school.
Yes.
So they can welcome the people coming to their school, and they can see, not only what they learn in the classroom, but what they learn as people.
Can you recall any community activities that you guys did when your son was there, or even when you were there?
Yeah, sure. I used to serve as a mentor. Well, I still do actually to this day, serving as a mentor to young ladies between 8 and 14 at the school.
Okay.
And I initially started because when my son was a student there, some of the male teachers used to say that, like some of the young ladies, could use a little help in the area of, when you get to be a teenager and all that, the little hygiene might not have been up to par or whatever like that. So I saw that as an opportunity, to work with the young ladies.
Okay.
So one of the things that we were big on was community service. And so we would have things like we might have a book drive, and have the kids, which they can also, engage their other fellow students, the young men also, to, bring in books, that we can then donate to the community. There were times that we collaborated with Fernando Pullum Performing Arts School, and that we used to make lunches and go deliver to the homeless kids.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then an annual event that I did with the kids, I used to work for an organization that my mom helped found. And every year in honor of my mom, we used to go feed senior citizens. So I used to have the young ladies plan the event from soup to nuts. They had to plan the menu. They had to plan what the theme was going to be. They planned the entertainment for the seniors. Because my mother always wanted to make sure that, there is a connection between the seniors and the student and young people. Each one has something to offer the other.
Yes.
And that was an opportunity for us to do that. Not to mention that seniors are often forgotten about, especially during COVID, so we made sure we had activities that we can let those seniors know who paved the way for us, that they mean something,
Right.
And another thing about Marcus Garvey is you learn to value the ancestors, because those kids say pledges and stuff daily and all that, to show their reverence for the ancestors and the people that came before them, in the areas of education, community, and everything else. So we make sure that those kids learn how to give back at an early age, because you have a different sense of self, and you know that the world's bigger than you.
Yes.
So I think the world's a better place when kids get that instilled into them.
I love that.
And the seniors used to love it. We had one girl, she used to play the piano, a Mozart song they were so enthralled with the kids. They did pledges, they did everything.
So you mentioned the piano.
Yes.
Which my brain automatically goes to music.
Right.
Something happened spectacular a few
Right.
weeks ago
Right.
at that school. Can you share that with me?
Yeah, but I can tell you how Marcus Garvey has changed, because when I was a student there, it was strictly academics, everything. That's all we did was academics. The only thing we had a choir.
Okay.
We had a choir. But other than that, we were strictly academics. But, over the years, I guess they recognized that, the students need a little more outside activities,
right, to be
as
well-rounded.
well. So they've been very fortunate, and Marcus Garvey, to speak to those kids are so mature. And so Fernando Pullum used Marcus Garvey as a motto, or kind of like a test, to see if younger kids were mature enough to, learn music at their ages. So he started with them, so 5 years old, starting at 5, at Marcus Garvey only. He used them as the elementary campus to the program, and then he saw that those kids could learn. Those kids could play music. My son did piano, guitar, and drums through that program from K to 8th grade, So it's a good way, and the kids are stepping now. They always kind of step with the pledges and stuff. They've always did some, routines with that, and so he's been able to take it to another level with that. And then last week, as a matter of fact, Marcus Garvey always partners with community organizations to bring attention to the school, community organizations and businesses and, prominent people in the community. And last week, they were fortunate enough to have Berry Gordy Foundation come to the school. The Global Music Box, they're a company that they go build music rooms all around the world, and they get different people to sponsor it.
Okay.
Well, Berry Gordy Foundation was eager to sponsor for Marcus Garvey School, because they had come like maybe 40 years before to tour the school, and they were amazed about, at the progress of the students, how smart they were, how polite they were, everything. He always wanted to see what happened to those kids, He always was looking for a reason to come back. So 40 years later, he came back.
Wow.
But he didn't only come back, but there's a legacy at Marcus Garvey School now
right.
Where they painted Motown artists all around the classroom, the music room. They redid their music room.
Okay.
And they bought instruments. They bought keyboards and guitars and drums.
Nice.
And then they have like the Jackson 5. You got Diana Ross and Stevie Wonder on the walls, Smokey Robinson.
Right.
And, and there's a big, nice plaque, the Berry Gordy. So now his legacy will live on through Marcus Garvey School.
That is excellent.
Yeah, and so Stevie Wonder came. So Suzanne DePaz came. A lot of greats. Berry Gordy himself came. And then the kids were able to even sing songs for him, because they have that performing arts program going on, they were able to sing some of the Motown songs. And he
Okay.
loved it. And then they also sung happy birthday to him because he just turned 96.
Wow.
So that was also a great birthday present for him as well.
Okay, so you mentioned Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
You had the pleasure of teaching
Yeah.
Two of his children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Montez and Sophia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent students, both of them.
Yeah. And Sophia, ironically enough, when I used to be in 5th grade, she was in my class when I attended Marcus Garvey School.
Wow.
And then as a college student, I was a teacher in the summertime for Marcus Garvey, and I actually ended up taking over Miss Spencer's class, and Moontaz, Stevie Wonder's son, was in her class at the time. So I ended up being a student with one of his kids, and then the teacher to one of his kids is Marcus Garvey as well. But he loves the school, and he's been there for the school over the
been
years.
supporting for a while.
Yeah, but he understands the impact of educating our kids, allowing them to know that they are somebody, that we came from kings and queens, that our life just didn't start with slavery, and then that these kids can be enriched with music program and all that. Jimmy Jam was there as well, and they were very impressed by the kids.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, what would you like to leave everyone with today? You have some jewels you want to leave from your experience with them?
Okay, make sure you eat right.
Yes.
Watch the liquor. Can't do that. But this has been an honor, and I really like this, all the knowledge and wisdom that we've been projecting today.
Yeah.
It's really an honor.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you both for coming today. We mentioned exercise, how it's important as well.
Right.
And I don't want people to think that exercise is this strenuous thing that you have to do. I read an article on what people who live over 85 do, right? What they all have in common. And it's movement. So movement can be cleaning your home. It can be taking a walk in nature.
Washing
It can
your
be
car.
Washing your car. Yeah, doing tasks. It could be stretching, yoga. You don't have to have strenuous exercise in order to stay happy. So I mean, in order to stay healthy, healthy and happy.
Right.
So I did want to, reiterate that it's the little things sometimes, and it's a habit. So
And
they
you-
did it on a consistent basis.
And you don't have to walk. You can exercise in the bed.
Yes. Yes. So
I do that all the time.
if you are bedridden, or if you are feeling lazy and you don't want to get up that day,
Right.
we have so many resources. You can
Right.
look it up on YouTube, and you can get a bed exercise routine that you can do, which can include weights, as well, if you want to incorporate that.
And it cleans your mind.
So yeah, it's
You can
beneficial
think.
not only for your body, but for your
For your
mind.
mind, right.
You
You can think and get some of that stress off of you.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good
a
way
lot
to
of
relieve
stress.
stress.
Well, self-care is very important of all kinds, I believe.
Yes.
But you touched on the fact that, what kind of things, will lead you to dialysis and diabetes and stuff. But I just would like to know from Miss Spencer, like, who did she meet at dialysis? Like, does it just impact old people?
Yeah. Who
Is
does
that
it
the
impact?
only patients you see at dialysis are old people? Or?
No. All walks of life.
Yes.
In my book, I mentioned there was a 9-year-old that was on dialysis. They had kidney problem. So 9 years old can be affected.
So
And
your
then
age doesn't
Age
matter.
does not have an impact at
Right.
all. And then also it could affect any social,
Economic. Yeah. Level.
any economic level.
Yes.
Rich, poor, middle class, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've seen them all.
Is
And,
it just,
and people of all races, all creeds.
All races,
Yes.
all creed. Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we go?
Yes, I would just like to add that I had the pleasure of reading Diva on Dialysis, and I thought the book was not only informative, but I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Miss Spencer talks about her life experiences in the book, and so it really resonated with me. She talked about different people that she met during dialysis, from big stars to people that make movies, and then not only that, she's able to tell you about different little languages that she learned, you know, maybe it's just to say hi, but maybe in Korean or Japanese and different cultures,
Right,
or the
and
people
relate
that
to
she
people
meet,
that are different from herself.
that she meets, you know, and the great rapport that she has with her doctors, because I remember her doctor, even attending her book signing and all that,
I
one
do
of
remember
her
that.
medical professionals. So they love her just as much as she
And
loves
didn't one
them.
of your drivers attend as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
One of
and
the
they bought
drivers.
my books.
Right. So you
Yeah.
have a good rapport with all the people around you, not only your
Everybody.
students, but with
Yeah.
everybody that you meet.
Yes.
I'm a people person.
Yes.
It's in my DNA.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah. So her love for people and her love for teaching, all of that is expressed in this book. And even though she retired after 43 years of teaching, she's still teaching, because this book gave her opportunity to teach us in the community about, you know, her dialysis journey. So
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story. And you guys, you can go on Amazon, and if you still need a stocking stuffer, I don't know, if you're seeing this video in January and you just want to give a gift,
Right.
Diva on Dialysis. Go and support. It's on Amazon. Can have it to you in a day or so. Thank you. Thank you guys so
And
much.
it's only $15.
It's only $15. Thank you.
Thank you.